friends, what's up? It's Abby, and today is another day at home. We're going on coronavirus day, I don't know, like a week and a half, whatever that is, and I'm sure that several of you guys have been hunkered down even longer than that. So I hope that you're doing well and staying, not feeling very isolated and lonely and sad, and that you're able to take this time to just hone in on some things that you have been wanting to do. I know there are a lot of people in a lot of different situations, especially one that I've been thinking about a lot is everyone that's had to switch to online school. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. I switched to online school completely last semester and I'm still going strong on that. So it is completely different, especially I think a lot harder for people that are in-class learners, or I know that there are a lot of classes that people are just like, how am I supposed to do this online? So that will be interesting. But with that said, here are 10 tips that I have for doing school online. Whoosh. I already ate a banana today, but for the sake of snackage, this is what today's snack would be. I'm also going to have this Dove chocolate, and then I'll read the little note inside because it's always fun. A smile is the quickest way to brighten a room. From Jessica D. of South Carolina. Number one is to eat and exercise. 2 E's there, because those are really important, and I've found personally that if I don't eat, if I just hunker down and start doing my work, get in productive mode, then my brain just doesn't function as well. And also, as far as exercising, I have found if I like run a little bit or do a full workout before I go and sit for 4 hours, it makes me feel less guilty for sitting for 4 hours. And also I think with the oxygen and blood just flowing, that I work a lot more efficiently to getting whatever's done that needs to be done. I try to not just eat junk food or eat in my bed or wherever I'm going to be doing work. I found that I just can't multitask and eat and do work at the same time when it's important, because I don't know, my brain is like food, and then I just like want to eat all the food, and then I'll get sidetracked between doing that and work. So I do try to keep those separate, and I also try to eat stuff that isn't super junky, that will not leave me feeling fatigued and tired. Number 2 is to set a schedule. I think one nice pro of online school clearly is that you can do your school whenever and wherever you want. This can also get kind of scary because you need to make sure that you are hitting all of your due dates on time. So something that I like to do is every Monday I will create a sticky note on my desktop on the laptop, and I'll do like the classes and then go through Blackboard and see what assignments are due and write the due dates in the sticky note. Another thing is if you have big dates coming up, you can throw them in Google Calendar or whatever type of calendar you're using. I've personally found that that's enough, but if you are a more physical hard copy person, then you might want to write that down in your planner. I think some people do work more efficiently at different times of the day. Personally, I'm a night owl, so I always look forward. I don't know if that's the right word. I always plan to do my homework at the end of the night, just because I know that's what works for me. So I think if you just know kind of what works better for you, and if it is like staying up late and then sleeping in, then do that. Or if it's getting up early, getting it done, and like going on with the rest of the day, do whatever works for you. I don't think there's one particular thing that works best. Number 3 is make your spot. I know some people prefer to literally have like a spot where they do all the things and shut themselves out and be like, I can't work anywhere else but this spot. Personally, I have found that sometimes I like to do some reading in bed. I don't like get under my covers or anything, but I'll sit on my bed and do some reading. With online school, reading is huge. Like, it's literally, online school is exactly what you make out of it. So if you decide to read it and get the most out of it, then you are, but no one's going to sit there and force you to do the work. So I've found that I will go and read on my bed, and then if I have to write an essay or anything, I will go to a spot where I'm not too comfortable, so I can just crank that out. Number 4 is to prep your mind, and I think that this is actually very important, because at least for me, I have a tendency to like not want to do my homework and to like, I don't know, just procrastinate on that, and also just kind of take my education for granted. I'm very fortunate to be able to go on and further my education. And I think a lot of us tend to take that for granted that can. So if you can just like take a moment, whether it's reading a book or talking to a friend or listening to a podcast, this isn't super realistic for like every time, but even if it's once a week, just to remind yourself of why it's important for us to get an education and why it's like our responsibility as citizens that are able and have the resources when there's so many people out there that are able but can't and don't have the resources. I think it truly is a gift to be able to further your education, and yeah, just being in that mindset versus the mindset of, oh my gosh, I have to do this even though I don't want to, is a lot better. Number 5, communication is key. Contact your professors with anything and everything. I mean, with limitations, I guess. But for the most part, don't let that like physical distance cause you to have that communication distance, because communication is really key. And I think it is kind of nice to be that student that is interactive versus that student that just kind of sits back, because if you do miss a due date, then the professor will see that you have engaged in the class and maybe give you some more grace on it, or at least be appreciative that you've been engaged with the class. One con of online school, I think, is just not being able to talk with your friends or have that social interaction, because it can feel and be very isolating. With that said, like maybe you FaceTime with your friends if you're in the same classes to just keep up with your assignments, or just have like social life, because that's important too. And just like talking with your friends can give you a good Talking with your friends can give you a good mood booster before you start your homework or while you're doing it, to just keep going and make it through, because sometimes it's just really hard, but we can do it. Rolling back to the main thing is just don't be afraid to reach out to your professors. It can seem kind of intimidating, I think, sometimes. On that same note, please use proper email etiquette, or just pay attention to the syllabus and respect them how they want to be responded to, because some people are very chill and they're just like, text me if you have a question. And then some professors are like, I want my whole name, doctor, whatever, spelled out. I want this and this and this. So just be aware of that and you should be good. Number 6 is to read your textbook. I don't know how much more to say on that topic, other than I used to just skim my textbook and then I'd get to the homework and be like, I don't know what's going on, and then it would take twice the time. So just, yeah, read that thing, take the time to do it, because again, it really is what you make out of it. Or if you find that this class is seriously like, you just need to get through the class, then don't read it and just do what you have to do to get through, because sometimes that's what it is. And either way, school is there to teach you like good habits and to give you grit to get through things. So just get through what you have to get through. You know what your priorities are and what you're really interested in. So yeah, read if you want. On a note with reading, I like to use sticky notes if it's a physical book. And something that I found really helpful is creating a running Google Doc. I will take the sticky notes and transfer them into a Google Doc, especially say I have an essay coming up. I read the essay question, and then as I'm going through the textbook, I will like note down anything that could be useful to start quoting within that essay. And this just saves a lot of time, so I don't have to go back through everything. If the textbook is completely online, it's really useful to see if there's a tool to highlight the textbook. If not, writing down things physically can also be really helpful to just retain in your memory. Okay, 7, instrumentals. I have found, especially not living by myself but living with other people, that I cannot multitask very well at all. And science says this, but I've just found it to be more and more true with my life. If there's an external conversation going in, I'm really bad at like wanting to hone into that conversation or whatever's going on around me. So I found even just popping my earbuds in and listening to an instrumental, not something that I know the lyrics to, because if I know the lyrics to, then I'll just start like bopping to that. So I try to do like classical music, or I'll do guitar instrumentals, any type of cover of songs that I don't know. My favorite lately has been Disney instrumentals to movies that I haven't seen before, just because I find that music to be very pleasing and well done. Number 8, utilize your resources. There are tons of resources out there, anywhere from Crash Course to Khan Academy to Quizlet, all these things that can help you to study and learn. Your professor might also provide some resources specific for your class, but otherwise, yeah, just do a good Google search and I'm sure that you'll find something. Number 9 is get it done. As silly and simple as that sounds, really anything is better than a 0. So just make sure that you're staying up to date on your dates and not getting a 0. Even if you completely are like, this is useless to me, I'm not learning anything, just write something real fast because, again, anything is better than a 0. If you are feeling sad or like you are wasting time in a class, just have hope that there will be some little thing that you'll pick up that will be worth your time. Whether it's just like enduring through it and being able to get done and say yay to yourself for getting through it, or I know I've gone through whole semesters where I didn't feel like I was learning much and then I learned one thing and I was like, whoa, this one thing was actually really cool and important to know. Number 10 is to stay organized. Set reminders, make a system that works for you. Everyone learns in a different way. You might be a hands-on learner and learn a lot better that way, but just remember that this time is temporary. There will be another time if you want, hopefully, to go back into a regular classroom setting. So just don't lose hope with that and try to take this as a time to learn more about how you learn and learn more about like the world of the internet and how it really has changed the way that we can work. I hope that you guys found these tips helpful. If you did, please make sure to thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you are new to my channel, I like making videos about sustainable living, more just like how I like to live and incorporate sustainability and also different DIYs and fun projects. So I hope you guys are having a great day and have a great rest of the week. I will see you in my next video. Bye!